here with my friend Natalie Zeituny for a recording for the Great Upshift launch. I'm going to start by reading a passage from the essay that Natalie wrote for the book. And it goes like this. The more humanity invests in scientific, industrial, and technological realities, which are external constructs, the less humanity devotes itself to inner, embodied, biological, psychological, soulful capacities and extrasensory perception. Slowly but surely, our life force is migrating away from our body, away from our feelings, away from our sensations, from our relations, from our soul, our planet, away from our collective ancient ensouled wisdom. Who are we becoming? Can we create an ecologically flourishing future that serves nature, culture, technology, and all life? And you say, yes, we can, Natalie. But I think it's a very, very interesting passage because of the way that you describe the migration of the life force and the self away from the body, away from the immediate. So perhaps you'd like to say a little bit more about that and about ensoulment in general.
Okay, thank you, David. Thank you. Hello, everybody. I'm happy to be here. Ensoulment is an ongoing process of connecting, expressing essence. And essence is a very fluid term, and it can be a little bit abstract. And through the research and inquiry and discovery of the ensoulment approach, I realized that there are people, landscapes, areas, governments, and systems that are more ensouled than others. And then that's when I started researching that in depth with the counseling practice and the seminars that I've been offering. And so ensoulment is basically a framework, a perspective that looks at what are the humans, communities, landscapes, places that have higher grade of soul presence. So I'm interested in the soul through ensoulment. And the second question is, how do we create realities that are informed by the soul? These are the two main inquiries through ensoulment. The first book is, the first body of work is interested in the personal, collective, and cosmic soul, the soul of the world, and how do they all interact with each other. And the second book is really interested in, once we are embodying higher and deeper and wider grade of soul, how do we create realities that are based on soul intelligence, soul consciousness, and not just operating from an inertia or programs? So I distinguish in the first, in this body of wisdom, I distinguish between the soul and programs that are operating through us. Now, the reason this is so critical right now is because we have the last probably 30, 40 years, particularly, we have exported most of our intelligence to the machine. And now the machine has our life force, has our intelligence, has the way we perceive the world, and it's showing us as a feedback mechanism who we are becoming. So we are kind of in a mirror of mirrors, feeding the machine what we know, and the machine showing us different variation of who we are through, AI and AGI. And now there are deeper questions for humanity to ask. Who are we? Where are we headed? What's really important for us? And these questions are at the core of the ensoulment process.
And indeed of the great upshift. The questions of who we are and where we're going and how we're going to evolve is essential to the great upshift. So how do you see ensoulment in that context, in the context of human evolution? Yes.
So there are two processes. One is for humanity as a whole and individual citizens to reclaim back their life force and to reconnect with their soul and with the essence that brings thriving conditions for all of us. This is something really critical because the soul originates in the primordial field. It originates in the source of everything that permeates us inside and around us. Because the soul has this kind of ancient presence and being, it has the intelligence to take care of the entire organism. The entire organism, I mean the entire cosmos. So the more we are aligned with our soul, and the more humanity and communities and governments and countries are aligned with their true soul, with their true essence, with their true collective essence, the better it is for the whole of humanity. So there's the aspect of embodying deeper, wider, higher grade of your own personal soul and our own collective soul. And that's a process that I write about in the books. That's the first aspect of ensoulment. And the second one is to really reflect, especially now as we're pouring billions of dollars, and there are thousands, if not hundreds of thousands of companies that are created to develop the next release of AI, ChatGPT and others. As we're moving so fast into that development, there are deeper questions to ask. Who are we in our core? What differentiates us from the machine? And where do we want to take this human experiment? And these questions should be dealt on a very, very high level, both strategic and tactical. The forces right now in the market are moving us to develop the AI without reflecting on these questions, and it can pose a danger. And we can talk about it. I talk about it in the second book. But understanding that actually what we're learning through the machine and through technology is actually a reflection of who we are, how we're operating, and what technology, how technology is being a part of our lives. And there's a whole nother level that we can actually direct this process of development and of evolution. But the only way we can direct it is to collect the conscious leaders and have a true impact on designing the next level of technology development, which right now is happening just a little bit, not as much as I was hoping for. But basically the direction where I suggest to take both the technology and the entire evolution is to look at optimal thrivability. And this is what I write in the chapter. How can we optimize the thrivability of life and the thrivability of all life forms? And when we feed that into the system, it would be very interesting to see what intelligence is reflected back to us and then fine-tune it based on our inner wisdom. Also to bring back the wisdom council. I believe we talked about it in ancient Greece, ancient Egypt, there were the wisdom council, the seer, the feelers, the healers, the leaders. We need to bring them back into the conversation and not like, oh yeah, I'm going to go and listen to somebody on Zoom, but we need to bring them back to the emergence of this new humanity that will be combined with technology. And some people are going to choose to live inside realities that are completely technological with their goggles 20 hours a day. And some others are going to choose a hybrid reality. But we're moving in this direction of hybrid human technology.
So we need to really arrive at a balanced perspective of ourselves and then reflect that back. So to balance this wisdom that you're talking about with the technological intelligence and cleverness. And that I think is what we're trying to navigate in the great upshift. So any final thoughts, Natalie, to leave us with?
I'm optimistic, basically. I do feel the same way. We are able to design and roll out very, very large system that impacts the whole planet. I believe we can create an ecologically flourishing system that supports people, planet, technology, and our evolution forward. But we do need to step into our wisdom, and this is why this book is so important. It brings the most evolved leaders to bring their wisdom. So I'm very hopeful about the future.
Well, we're all part of this great upshift movement, and we'll see how we can take that forward in 2024.
Thank you. Thank you, David. Thank you, everybody.